What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Licorice Pizza breakdown and review. It is the latest movie from Paul Thomas Anderson, who I personally admit find a bit hit or miss, but Magnolia and Boogie Nights are absolute standouts for me. It stars Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman, yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid, and, well, we have a 25-year-old woman who is pursuing a 15-year-old boy. Yeah, it's a bit controversial and just reminds me of that scene in South Park when Kyle's brother is being assaulted by an older woman and the police just go, nice. It's largely a true story with Gary Valentine based on Anderson's real-life friend who was indeed an actor/entrepreneur, with Alana Kane being added in after Anderson thought of a story of an older woman who's a photography assistant having a relationship with a younger guy. Yeah, you know, everyday thoughts there. It's really a bit sus. The major influences on the movie and its script was Fast Times at Ridgemont High and American Graffiti, with the movie wearing these very much on its sleeve. The name comes from a chain of record shops in the area, and well, the movie opens in the San Fernando Valley in 1973. It's an absolute wild ride of a movie and seems to get more and more ridiculous as you almost forget that Gary is just 15, almost like Alana did. It's high school picture day and Gary, a confident kid and child actor, would ask out Alana, working at the school as a photography assistant, and against her better judgment, she sits down and has a seats over here, and they go for dinner at a place he frequents, which just seems bizarre for a kid to be doing. Like I said, it's the story of Anderson's friend Gary, who co-founded Tom Hanks' production story Playtone. Now, she comes up and ends up chaperoning this boy on a trip to New York as he goes to auditions and performs on the Lucy Doolittle show. In real life, this was the Lucille Ball show, and well, Gary did perform at that. It's here that Alana is smitten by Lance, and yes, that actor was in Amazing Spider-Man and the Santa Clarita Diet. Talk about a glow-up. Now, I found her lusting over young men really off-putting and gave me just a general ick throughout the whole movie. She starts to date him on their return as Gary's auditions flops, but he offends her father, saying he is an atheist despite being raised as Jewish. It's here that Gary and Alana become close and start working together, be it part of Gary's mum's firm, which also involves working with the Mikado, the first Asian restaurant in the area, and that restaurant does involve the running joke of the owner using a very insensitive Asian accent. Now, I did reserve judgment because, of course, this is set in a time when it was quite common to be, totally racist. And the character does seem like a bit of a buffoon with no one calling it out. It doesn't seem very handled all that well and does, on the surface, seem like it is just done for us to laugh at, which, yeah, it doesn't feel that well there. And I just had to call that out there personally. I don't like calling stuff like that out because I like to get the full context, but it felt really off to me. She's also working for Gary's waterbed company because, of course, she is. It does seem about scattergun in the middle as the pair become friends. I was hoping for more of a one-sided Rushmore-style romance, but the pair get very close as he helps her meet a talent agent and she gets a few auditions while also helping progress the bed company. She gets an audition for a movie and, well, it's one of the most nonsensical scenes as Sean Penn, as the real-life actor Jack Holden, is just talking about his war, and she realises that these men don't really care about her, which is a bit of a theme as she meets Benny Safdie's mayoral candidate later, who also doesn't really care about her and is just using her, and she does a motorcycle stunt, and, well, the co-leads get back together when Gary checks on her. Now, the waterbed act seems to go on for bloody forever and is immensely boring, mainly due to the co-leads being intensely dull, borderline unlikable, and having somewhat of a lack of chemistry. His scheme of selling the waterbeds pushes a divide between the pair as she gets jealous of him seemingly talking to someone his own age, and the gas shortage of the time means making the waterbeds is impossible. It ends after they deliver a waterbed to John Peters, played by Bradley Cooper, and this is one hell of a cast of a movie. And we even had John C. Reilly playing Herman Munster. Now, John Peters is a total psycho, who is famous mainly for producing legendary movies like A Star is Born, and Streisand did strike big there. Now, I did know of him before this movie here. He's mostly known for his disastrous producing of the 1990 Superman movie that never was. Go and look that up, there's a fantastic documentary on that. The pair flood his house and end up having to help him get gas, and it just felt farcical. Now, Alana finally gets her life together, and in a bizarre pivot goes to work at Joel Wach's campaign to be mayor. He's played by Benny Safdie, who is one of the standouts here. But of course, I really loved him, of course, in his other movies. Now, this mayoral candidate is a gay man, and he has been notably not involved with any women, meaning someone is following him around trying to get the goss. Now, Alana pretends to be his boyfriend's girlfriend, and she went to meet him as he's charismatic and mugging off the campaign manager who is into her. You should really try and go for guys your own age. But, well, she goes to meet him only for her to have to be the beard for his boyfriend. Meanwhile, pinball is legal again, and Alana gets upset that Gary would use this just to get rich when she wants to make a difference. But she realizes she had a good thing going, kind of, and heads to Gary, and he introduces her as Alana Valentine, hinting that they are indeed a couple, as she does say, "I love you" to him. Now, this was a movie, to be honest. It was a movie that existed, and to me, it is something which was just awful. It was not a good movie in any way, shape or form. I found the age difference to be really, really gross. I don't like that. I didn't like that whatsoever. It just felt very off. And to be honest, while this is art, and should there be boundaries in art, should it cross the line? We had the whole thing with Cuties, which on the surface, that also seemed very, very gross. I think that, well, it is just weird. But then again, art, there is that excuse for them to fall back on. The movie overall was just absolutely dull to watch, and really was one of the worst movies I think I've seen in a long time. Just, it felt flat and had nothing going on whatsoever. But let me know what you think in the comments on the movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun watching this absolute snooze fest? But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like down below. Do subscribe with notifications on if you want more from us. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.